So, a high school baseball star who was facing nearly 80 years in prison will avoid jail time after pleading no contest to 10 felony charges, including rape, sexual battery, and strangulation of 2 teen girls. Thanks to a plea deal, the 18-year-old will keep a clean record if he obeys his youthful offender plan until he turns 19, which is less than a year from now. And the mothers of the victims are reacting to this sentence. One calls it a complete injustice to these girls and to their futures because, unfortunately, statistically, it won't end. The other victim's mom says, I told the DA, don't want him to get away with this because I cannot know that another mother is going to have to go through what I went through. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney and Fox News contributor Josh Ritter. Josh, thanks so much for joining the program this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Josh, I went through all the state statutes on this, and one thing stuck out to me is when you upgrade a charge to an adult and you bypass this youthful offender, you can do it for 2 reasons. The youth cannot be rehabilitated or the public cannot be protected. Okay, this is 2 victims here. The public can't be protected when this guy on the street, right?
No, you're absolutely right. He's demonstrated through his own actions that the public can't be defended. If this were a one-time thing, you could understand perhaps an argument. Even then, I would still find the whole situation to be shocking.
Right.
But you could at least wrap your head around the argument that they could say that he's eligible for some sort of rehabilitation and not a threat. But I think he's demonstrated through his own actions that he is, in fact, a threat. I understand the legal mechanism by which this happened, but what I don't understand is how it was allowed to happen, how prosecutors didn't get involved, how the judge didn't get involved. Somebody didn't say that, listen, we realize this law exists and somebody can take advantage of it, but this is not the kind of candidate. When I was a prosecutor here in Los Angeles, we routinely would see these types of cases with these charges, or even less than this, seeing easily decades in prison. So the idea that we're talking about within a matter of a year or so, and no jail time whatsoever, some probation, community service, he could be walking away from this. I understand the frustration coming from the victims' families.
So the DA is getting pushed back, and so they released this statement. This is what they're saying. As a youthful offender, the accused has an opportunity for rehabilitation, but can be transitioned to adult status and adult punishment if those efforts fail. Years of experience tells us that juries often struggle with convicting defendants based upon delayed reports of sexual assault between people in ongoing consensual dating relationships. And the trial process can be very traumatic for the victims, but that's your job as the DA. It's always complicated when it comes to juries, but you got to present the case, and you have 2 victims there.
Yeah, and by the way, they don't sound reluctant. They sound like they were seeking justice. This does not sound like a situation where they were having a hard time getting the victims to come into court or to come forward. One of them was hospitalized. So this isn't that statement to me is just hiding behind a mistake that they made. This clearly. Understanding that law is on the books and what it's there for, and this idea of that young people don't have fully formed brains and we want to give them the opportunity for rehabilitation is one thing. But allowing for someone who committed these types of crimes to take advantage of it and leaving 2 victims hanging in the wind is completely unacceptable.
Josh, and to that point, and this is a graphic statement, so if you have children in the room, you probably don't want them in for this, but I think it's important to show that you had cooperating victims here. This is what they said in the case. One of the victims said Butler would strangle her if she refused him. The teenage girl needed surgery to repair the damage done to her neck by strangulation, and her doctor said she would have died had the strangulation lasted another 30 seconds. So she almost died. This is the medical professional's point of view here.
It's attempted murder. I mean, there's a definite argument that that's attempted murder. You're talking about you're within 30 seconds of losing your life. This isn't teenagers going too far, drinking involved, misunderstandings taking place. This is a brutal, physical act of sexual assault that easily could have been filed in different jurisdictions as an attempted murder given those circumstances. The fact that somebody was hospitalized and that the person responsible for that is not going to spend 1 night in prison is appalling.
So a quick exit question because we got to go. When I was going through the statutes and all that, it looks like most of the discretion lies within the DA. But could the judge have stepped in and said, no, I can't take this deal?
That's what they're there for, is to act as a protector if they feel that for whatever reason that the prosecutors are taking advantage of a law that they have the discretion to use, but that they're taking advantage of it in a way that it wasn't intended for. That they have as much discretion to accept these pleas, and we see this happen sometimes where judges simply won't accept a plea because they don't think it's in the pursuit of justice. And why that wasn't done here is still baffling to me.
It's egregious. It's not a good look when the star football player rapes two girls, almost kills one of them, and then he's just back on the street. Josh, thanks so much for joining the program. We reached out to that judge in this case for comment, but of course we did not hear back.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.